Hello. Okay, so coral reef bleaching. So when you did the first four modules, you learned that the main thing that's killing corals is warm water. And so what we're going to do is walk through a little study that will confirm or not confirm that idea. And so if we put this within the context of the exercise, our hypothesis for how coral reef bleaching and warm water is related is that the warm water is causing the bleaching. Okay, so how do we test this idea? Well, I give you a graph here. See if I can get it. There we go. I give you a graph here of degree heating weeks, but without, they talked about that on the NOAA website, but without worrying about it too much, this is really just water temperature. And when you see these peaks, that's very warm water, which would, kill coral because it is so warm. But we want to test that idea. We want to see if this warm water really is causing uh, corals to die off. And so this is in the Florida Keys, which is fine. And so what we need though are data about coral reef bleaching. In other words, we need to know, when the coral reef is dying. Is it really dying at the time when this water is the warmest? Well, if you follow this link right here, it will take you to this website. And if you scroll down, you can see that they're keeping track of how much coral reef bleaching is going on in the Keys. Now, these all link to PDF documents that we could download and open, but we don't need to. You can just look at the title: June low, July moderate, July 17th moderate, 30th of July moderate, August 14th high. That's what we want to focus on, is when the bleaching is highest. And so what we want to do is we want to know, relative to that chart that you just looked at, is the high amount of coral reef bleaching happening when that water is the warmest. And so if we look back at our Word document, we can see that what we've got, okay, so we've got data for 2017, 2018, 2019, and 2020 barely. Okay, but so 17, 18, 19, and 20. So if we go back to the website, we don't need to worry about any of this down here, just 17, right? So when was the high amount of bleaching, or the highest amount of bleaching? Well, it was this moderate in here, right? We didn't have a high level of bleaching, but that moderate, August 1st and August 2nd, right? And so go back to this chart and see how well that August 1st and 2nd line up with this spike in water temperature. Then do it for 2018. So if we look at 2018, we can see, we had moderate bleaching, in July and early August. Awesome. Okay, so go back to the chart, look at, July and early August and see, or late July and early August, and see if, the water was warmer there. Then do the same thing for 2019, right? We have moderate bleaching in once again, July and August, we kind of see a pattern here. Look and see if the water was warm then, right? And then same thing here for 2020, right? We had a high bleaching event on August 14th, right? Go into that graph and see if that corresponds with higher water temperatures, right? And so also, so that's what you want to do, is you want to see how well the worst of the coral bleaching, and it might just be moderate, it might not be high. We only had high here for 2020, but we had moderate bleaching the other years. See if that moderate bleaching corresponds with the spikes in, or not, they're not really spikes, the increases in water temperature you have here, right? And so your hypothesis is that warmer water causes bleaching, right? We test that hypothesis by seeing if the bleaching events from the Mote Marine Lab correspond with these increases in temperature. How would you analyze the data? My thought when I was writing this was honestly that I would just on this graph write, high or whatever, mark the bleaching events on this graph along with these increases in water temperature and see if they're happening, more or less at the same time. So once you get that, then just write it up. Write a quick introduction, blah, 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 coral reef bleaching, et cetera, et cetera. Materials and methods, here's what I did. And the results and conclusions, here's what I found out, right? And so just once again, just compare the increases in water temperature here with the coral reef bleaching events here. And this link I got to just from this part of this link right there will take you to this web page. Okay, and I believe there's also a link in my courses that will take you to that web page. Okay, I hope that helps. If not, get with me again and I'll try something else. All right.